Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of I don't know what channel this is going to go on, if I'm being frank. I put some similar videos to this on my channel a while ago. People seem to really like it and have the same struggles with me as me when I have yarn that I think is beautiful, but I don't quite know how to use it. And so, like, it was self striping yarn, and then it was variegated yarn. Those things just kind of intimidate me. So, getting some ideas from you all is really, really helpful. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through some kind of like random yarn that I have. Um, some of it I don't know what to do with because I'm not used to crocheting with. Oh man, I gave it all away. Okay, wait, did I? Okay, I was like, oh, I didn't put homespun in there, but I think I gave it all away in a giveaway a while ago. Sorry, I am very sweaty. I've been trying to clean up my yarn room. And so it's very like, I've been working hard most of the morning, taking breaks to to try to, not burn out because, that happens. But I wanted to. I was watching Winter's live, and I love talking to Winter. Winter is awesome. If you don't follow them, I honestly don't know why. Like they're amazing. So like, go check them out. Their tag on YouTube is at Winter Nightmare Crochet. And they're super cool. So I'm gonna just I picked just like some random yarns. I have other yarns that I don't quite know how to use, but for these specific yarns, I'm just like I'm totally lost. I want to keep the yarn. I love it. Some of it has very sentimental value um, for me, and I just I kind of don't know how to use it, and so I'm gonna try to remember to edit this and then number everything. So if you see something and you're like, "Wow, this project would be really great for this yarn," please just like write like, "Hey, for number 3, I think this would look really cool," or whatever. So I'm gonna try to tell you how much I have of each, but some of them are like unbanded or like have like a blank band, so I don't really know like yardage. The things I won't make are mostly blankets and pretty much anything with granny squares, unless I, have no other option most of the time, right? And a lot of this yarn is definitely not like granny's, what I would consider like a granny square type yarn. Um, and I play more where this came from, so there might be a part 2. Who knows? So if you could give me some suggestions, or maybe you just have tried a yarn and whatever. Like if you want to give me some suggestions, that would be super great. I would really appreciate that. So let's get started. So the first yarn I'm picking is, and this is still sold at Michael's. I believe it's exclusive to Michael's. Let me check. It's a Loops and Threads. Yes, it's exclusive to Michael's. So this is the Loops and Threads Twisted Tones. I believe there's probably in the ballpark around like 8 different colorways. And this colorway is the color Paprika. It's very fall, very me. And what I don't buy a lot from Michaels because I don't really love like the infrequency of like their good sales. Joanne always has a good sale, and they're just like my Michaels and Joanne are really close together. Luckily, so I have both options. But so this is the Twisted Tones. It's made from recycled acrylic, and it is 82 yards per skein, 5.3 ounces, 150 grams, and it is a jumbo 7 weight. You can see the texture is very, very cool. And what pushed me over the edge to buy this yarn, normally I wouldn't even have a second glance at this yarn, but they had a swatch of this knitted up, and it was so gorgeous that I was like, I must have. And so I did do one project with it, which I made a like thick ear warmer, and I used the knit stitch on it because I wanted to kind of recreate the swatch as much as possible. I do like this ear warmer. It is very, very warm. It's 100% recycled acrylic, so it's very, very warm, borderline like real hot, and it was just like it was such a strain on my wrists to do this particular stitch that I don't know if I could do a knit stitch with this particular yarn. I don't remember the hook size I used, but I have this project, and then I have probably like 5 or 6 skeins of this yarn left, and I don't know what to do with it. It's very thick, it's very warm, and I don't know what to do with it. So any suggestions for this yarn would be amazing because I really want to use it. It always, whenever I look at it, I'm like, because it's like right in my like line of sight, off to the side of my camera, and I'm like, I wish I knew what to do with this. So this definitely is like, what do I do with this? So please send help. So, the next couple of things I'm going to show are from a thrift store of sorts in North Carolina, in Durham. We have this store called the Scrap Exchange, and they have all different types of like remnants, like fabric remnants, and just like all kinds of things. Like they had like at one point, I don't know if they still do, they had like a barrel, like a big, huge, like oil barrel size of just like unlabeled pill bottles. And it's really just a place for creatives or people who are just like looking for like an odd object to make something with. It's really, really cool. I love going there. So a lot of this yarn came from this, and it's donated by either people who have no use for it anymore, or sometimes people pass and their yarn collection goes to the scrap exchange. So a lot of it is unlabeled. You only get a limited amount, and when you when you buy it, sometimes you have no idea what the yarn content is or anything about it. So that's what the next few are going to be. So the next one is this yarn. It is a thin velvet yarn. It has a lot of texture, as you can see, like it's so much texture it hides I don't know if the yarn itself would work up and have this texture, but it kind of has like maybe it's just kind of how it's like skeined up or whatever. Um, but it's so beautiful. It's this nice like a cornflower blue. I think you can kind of see it's pretty true to color on camera. What? No idea how much is in here, and I don't love working with velvet yarn, but it just called to me, and I was like, this is a really special yarn. No idea what to do with it. I think this is probably a full skein of whatever this is. No idea. Don't know how to search for it, and so I'm just like, I don't know. And so it's probably like a thick 3, I would say. I don't think it's quite a 4-weight, but it's this beautiful yarn, and it has so much shine and dimension. And I'm like, how do I use this? Okay, so the next one, luckily has its label on it. So this is from AC Moore, so I think that tells you a little bit about how long ago it was purchased. So this is the Stitch Studio by Nicole, which was an AC Moore brand, and this is the yarn type Grandeur. It appears to be an entire skein. It's hard to know sometimes if people have used any, but it doesn't look used to me. It's this beautiful thick. It's a 6-weight, super bulky. I mean, it's very thick. Has a beautiful shine. I bought this and a lot of the other things I'm gonna show you when I was gonna do like my queerdos, which were just like little weird animals that or like creatures that I freehanded. but then, like, no one would ever buy them, so I kind of pushed that project to the side to make things people would buy. Um, so it is a 6 weight. It's 100% acrylic, has some fuzz to it, but it is quite slippery as well. And let's see, it's 100% acrylic, approximately 64 yards, 300 grams. This is the color Elegant Earth. It's like, it's kind of like slightly greenish brown. I think, again, the color is showing up pretty well at this point. Um, so, I thought this yarn would be really cool, add a lot of texture to the weirdos, but, like, I don't really know what to do with it. So, any suggestions, or if I should just start making weirdos again, let me know. I need some hydration. My throat is dry. Okie dokie. The next one, I only have one skein of. I love the texture and the just entire experience of this yarn. Like, can you just like see how cool this is? So this is by the brand Moda Dia, and this is the yarn type Eden, and it is classified as a 5-weight bulky, but I mean, it's like roving in the way that it is, it goes from, like, there are parts that are like, can you see how thin that is? Like, that's like a 3-weight, and then some parts it goes up to a 5. I wouldn't consider the whole thing a 5, but I know with roving and like thick to thin styles, it can be hard to classify. So, like, that's a little tenuous to me. It's 100% nylon. It's 50 grams or 83 yards. And it is so cool. Again, I got this for the Queerdos. I just thought it would add a lot of just like really cool, just like designs. One, I have no idea what hook size. It has a hook size recommendation of a J, but like I feel like if I wanted to work up a Queerdo, which is, you know, some variation, it's like it's an amigurumi with different sizes of yarn. I wouldn't want gaps in it, so I wouldn't use a J hook. Like, if I use a J hook on that, there's going to be huge gaps in it, and the polyfill is going to show through. No idea what to do with it. This is the color Earth, and I only have one skein of this. It's very, very soft. It's very fuzzy. It also has this kind of like this. I don't even know if halo is the right term for it. It's just like very fuzzy. It's so soft. I want to use this so bad, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Okay, so the next is a true roving. I believe, I mean, to me, there's no doubt that this has wool content. This is how much I have of it. The greens just called to me, especially when I was working on my Swamp Witch, or when I was in my Swamp Witch era, which truly hasn't ended. It's just like, it's too hot right now for me to think about like the layers involved in the Swamp Witch look. But it's roving, so it goes from quite thin to thicker. And then I believe I made like something small out of it, maybe like a heart keychain or something. I think I've used it or tried to use it before, but I don't know. Like, to me, this is one of those like, and you'll notice that I have a lot of greens. I love the color green. I mean, if that wasn't obvious before. But, like, for me, like, what was I gonna say? Like, this is, like, such a special yarn, because it's kind of, like, among, like, my dream yarns. Oh my gosh, there's, like, one part that's, like, super fucking green. Can you see that? Well, it's, like, Kelly green in the sea of, like, olives and forest greens and stuff like that. It's very beautiful. I love this. No idea how much I have. I did just get a, what is it called? Like a nitty knotter, recommended by Crystal. Hook that yarn if you haven't checked out her channel. I will try to remember to post something like right there. What was I gonna say? Oh, I got that. So I could measure yardage using that. That's its purpose as far as I understand things. Is there gold in it? No, it's just like things sticking from other projects. I was like, gold. Oh my gosh, that would make it even better. But so I could measure yardage on a lot of these things, but that would require me like undoing the whole ball and having to reball it up, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna like try to guesstimate. Again, I bought this one for Swamp Witch vibes, and then also for the Queerdos. Okay, so I don't have the band for this. I started working on a Queerdo, and if I remember, I will try to put a picture in, but I probably will forget, for being honest. So this is, it's like some kind of like, I think it's like Lion Brand, like one of the Sesame Street yarns, and it has this like, almost like a terry cloth type texture to it. I believe it's 100% acrylic. When I was making a green Queerdo, and I added this, and it just didn't vibrate, so I had to undo it. Also, it created so much yarn barf that I just had to ball it up by hand. So this is a full skein of whatever that Sesame Street yarn is. I don't remember the weight. I know it's still, I believe it's still on the Hirschner's website, but I do believe this yarn is discontinued, and I just don't know what to do with it. And one of the problems I faced was that a lot of the texture of this gets trapped on the inside of the stitch, and because I was making like an amigurumi with it, some of it would never be seen. So it was kind of annoying to work with, because all this cool texture was, a lot of this cool texture was kind of hidden. So like, I don't know what to do with this. But yeah, so it's very cool. It's got a bunch of different shades of green and white, and it's just a beautiful variegated yarn, but no idea what to do with that. Okay, so let me see if I have any more. I think this is the last scrap exchange yarn. Okay, so this is what I believe is a full cone of fairly thin roving style. Oh, the Nitty Knotter was a recommendation from Crystal. That's what I forgot. A little hydration. So this is a beautiful teal color. It's roving, but it's still fairly thin, even in its thicker parts. It has a beautiful, beautiful texture, and I imagine it would have beautiful drape. I believe that this might be a great, like, very airy style wrap. I don't know the contents. I imagine there's some maybe cotton component to it, but I think it would have some great drape. But one, I don't really love making wraps because I don't wear them, and most of my stuff doesn't sell, so it's like I would keep it, I would have it, and I would never wear it, so it's kind of like a little useless. And then also, I'm afraid that I would start a wrap and not have enough yarn to finish it. So if you have any ideas, please help a brother out, because I have no idea. Oh, I didn't realize this was on my face, like, after all of this video. So, no idea what to do with this. But I just thought it was so beautiful. I bought, like, I went through this period of buying, like, a lot of, like, cones from, the scrap exchange especially, and now I'm like, they're so bulky, they take up so much room to store, and, I have no idea what to do with them, and I have no idea how much yardage is there. So the next are, either purchased, or actually, I think all of them were purchased, yeah, they were all purchased by me, none of this is gifted yarn. So this next portion is yarns that I have purchased, and I don't know what to do with just because of some reason. Each one is different. So when uh, when Michaels first released the Eco Cozy, it was honestly one of the favorite yarns I've ever used. It's a roving style, and I still have some that I've made, and I've made a couple like infinity cowl type situations, which are so hard to sell because I just don't know how to make it look as good as I feel like it is. Does that make sense? I don't know. But so they discontinued that line, it was heart wrenching. Because it was like literally some of my favorite yarn. It got snatched up so fast. A couple years later, they came out with Eco Cozy. I believe it's still at Michaels, but they reformulated or did something different with it. The eco part is this recycled acrylic yarn, but it just had like a total different consistency. I touched it and I was like, no, this is not the same yarn. I'm not getting it. Like, I haven't even ventured into trying it because I'm just like, this is not the dream yarn that I had before. So the next year, because of the success of Eco Cozy, Loops and Threads came out with the Eco Brights, which is made from recycled plastic. This is 255 yards. I believe I have two balls of this green, which is called green. Wow. And then I have two of maybe like a light pumpkin color, probably called orange or pumpkin because they're not super creative with their names, but okay. And so this is 255 yards purple. I hate working with this yarn. It just I don't even know why it's so bad. Like, I can't even pinpoint why it's so bad. What I have tried doing it is using it as scrap yarn for my knitting machine projects, but it splits, and that is kind of a terrible quality to use on the knitting machine. So I don't know what to do with it. It's fairly soft. It's pretty soft. It glides really nicely when you're holding it. It just is really hard to crochet with. So if anyone has tried this yarn or has any ideas what I might be able to make with it, that would be nice. It is a 4-weight, or it says it's a 5-weight, but I'm calling bullshit on that. This is a true 4. The Eco Cozy, was and is a 5-weight, a bulky 5, roving style yarn. And they had some solids, and then I believe they had some flecked yarn. So, well, I know that they had flecked and solids because I have both, but I didn't get all the colors that I want. So this is not a 5-weight in any kind of world. Let's see, anything else about it? Recommends a 9mm hook. And maybe if I tried using a 9mm hook, I could get some cool drape. As you can see, it does have a natural drape that is very nice. But what the fuck do I do with this yarn? I have no idea. Please help me out. It does match my hair pretty well though. But yeah, so I have probably a total of 4 skeins ish. The next, so I have one skein of this. This is Little Bunny by Premiere. It just looked cool. I thought it would be awesome for the Queerdos. And then I just every time I look at it, I'm I don't really want to crochet with that. So let's see. So it is a bulky 5, which I agree with. It's so hard to tell with chenille yarns. I don't really understand that. And so it's by Premiere. It's 109 yards per skein. I have it in this color, and then I have a pumpkin orange. You'll notice I have a lot of greens and oranges. I just love those colors. So it's 100% polyester. It's tested and approved against 350 plus harmful substances. I don't know what that actually means. This is the color Key Lime. but it's very, like, super, super, like, borderline stupid soft. It's very pretty. I just don't deal with a lot of yarns like this, and you'll probably notice me saying stuff like that. Um, so I just don't really know what to do with it. So if you have any suggestions for this or projects where you use yarn like this, please let me know. If you want to include like the hook size you use and stuff like that, I would appreciate it. It recommends an 8mm hook, which I believe would give you some gaps. You wouldn't get like a super tight stitch on that, but it's not unheard of. So yeah, this is Little Bunny by Premier. Okay, so I have one skein of this. This was like at a time where I was watching so many people use wool products, and I really hadn't had a lot of exposure to wool because I'm poor. The only wool I ever really, wool content yarn that I ever did anything with was Scarfy, when like Scarfy was like everyone's favorite. And I was knitting with Scarfy. I don't even know if I've ever crocheted with Scarfy, but getting like frogging Scarfy was such a fucking nightmare that I just like pretty much swore off a lot of wool, especially like fuzzier wool, just because which like frogging knitting, I don't even really know how to do that. So, but I just like took the project off the hooks and tried to like unravel the yarn, and it just didn't. It like felted together. So I was like, okay, a I'm gonna try something a little fancier, and so I bought this one skein of yarn. So this is Lion Brand Yarn Touch of Luxe collection, and it's the Touch of Alpaca. I don't even know if it's sold anymore. It might be on Hirschner's, if not on the Lion Brand website. I got it at Michael's. I actually no, I got it at Joann. So this is 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 207 yards. It's a medium 4-weight, which I do agree with. It definitely has some fuzz, if you can see that. So, it is 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca. It recommends a 5.5mm hook. And I don't, is this in the color charcoal? I don't know what to do with this. It's not the softest yarn, which always confuses me because a lot of people like wool and they say it's so comfy. But when I feel a lot of like yarns with wool content, I'm like, this is really scratchy, and I don't get that. So like, maybe I should do a whole video on just like wool content because it like intimidates me and whatever. But I just have one skein of this. I mean, I could probably make a hat out of it. It's a beautiful color. The charcoal, is that pretty true? It has some shine. It has some fuzz. I imagine it would look beautiful worked up. I just can't quite figure out what to do with it. I've had this for years. No idea what to do with it. Okay, and then the last one I purchased that does not have sentimental value for me. When I saw it, I was like, I kind of have to get this. Other than roving style yarn, another one of my favorite types of yarn is chain spun. And so Lion Brand, which again, this might be on Hirschner's, I believe it's discontinued from Lion Brand, is Lion Brand Chainette. It is 65% baby alpaca, 35% nylon, 1.7 ounces or 50 grams. It's 164 yards per ball. I have 3 full balls. Sorry, let me collect myself. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. So I have 3 balls of this. It's absolutely stunning. I have the color Spice. Like I said, I have a lot of greens. I have a lot of oranges. I'll never get tired of using like pumpkin oranges. It's very beautiful. I bought this on line because I don't believe it was carried in my store. And it's chain spun. It's very, very, very gorgeous. Um, but like because again, the wool content, I'm really afraid it won't frog well if I try a project and it doesn't work out well. So I'm just really kind of trying to like figure out what project would highlight the beauty of the chain spun yarn, and the natural texture that chain spun has. But also, making it a nice enough project where like it's worth using 65% baby alpaca yarn. I feel like also because wool is more expensive yarn, I have trouble using because I just am afraid, deeply afraid that like I will have spent all this money and I'll have an ugly project that I won't be able to frog, if that makes sense. So let me see. Does it have its weight on here? Oh, so it says it's a 4 weight. The thing is, it's very like stretchy. So like, I feel like if you stretch it out, like that's a 4 weight. But like in its natural state, I would definitely classify it as a 5. Like without being stretched out, it's like it's much. Like see how much that changes. It's very very stretchy. It's hand washed, laid flat to dry, with the alpaca content. It's beautiful. Totally beautiful. Gorgeous. I was so excited when I found this. So excited when I opened up my package for it. And no idea how to use that. But it does have a fair amount of yardage. Like 164 yards per ball. And then I have 3. So like that would be, I mean, I imagine it would be great for something. Let me know. Let me know. Please help me out. All of this is a cry for help. I.e. my life. Okay. Oh, wait. Sorry. I have one more yarn. So this is a fairly popular yarn. I don't believe it's discontinued, but they're kind of always out of, like, the colors that I would want. I have this in this specific color, which I don't have the bag, within reach. It's right, like, there. But I'm not gonna go get it. So this is Rockstar yarn from Ice Yarns. It is a beautiful, 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 shiny chain spun yarn. It's gorgeous. It does have some wool in it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. So it is 19% merino, 70% polyamide, and 11% acrylic. It's 50 grams per ball, and it's 115 meters. It says it's a 4 weight. I agree with that. It does have some fuzz, which I feel like doesn't communicate in pictures and videos, but like it is a little bit difficult to frog. I have 8 balls of this color, and then I have 8 of like a forest green that's metallic like this. So gorgeous. Actually, I have used a little bit. I did use it when I was making my like metallic like bouquet that I abandoned for, other stuff. um, but it like, it just has like shine and dimension. It's beautiful. Again, not fun to frog. But it's so soft too. It's so soft. No idea what to do with it. So please. Okay, so I'm on my last 2 yarns. So, the first is sentimental to me because I bought it from Winter. And this is a very beautiful yarn. I have it in a couple colors. And most of them are full cakes, except for one which they use to make mittens with. And the mittens were gorgeous. Oh my god. But these are the Caron crystal cakes, and they are 8.5 ounces, 240 grams, 634 yards per cake. I imagine it would make a beautiful shawl, but again, shawls just aren't really my thing. It is unbelievably soft. It has metallic in it. This is the red color, in the color claret. I hope I'm saying that right, or claret. I don't know. But this is this color. It's so beautiful. So I have one of the red. I have, let's see, three of the black, which the color name is Lava Rock, with like a silver metallic. This has a gold metallic. This has a silver metallic. Um, and then I have a little less than one cake of, nope, that's another red. Okay, I have two reds. And then there's an orange somewhere, which is out of my grasp right now, but it exists. I think there's an orange. Am I losing my mind? I don't know. I can't find it. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm like digging in this bag. Okay. I think there's an orange somewhere. But, okay, let's see yarn content. So, it is classified as a medium 4-weight, which, let's see, I think that is accurate for the yarn. It looks fuzzier, but at its core, I believe a 4-weight is appropriate. And let's see. So, tell me. Okay, so it's 64% acrylic, 24% polyester, 7% nylon, and 5% metallic. As part of the Lush Living collection, I don't believe this is sold anymore, and I know Winter was really sad to part with it, and I understand why. It's very beautiful yarn. But obviously, if I can support a friend in a situation, I will do my best to. It's beautiful. I have a fair amount of it. It's so super soft, but because I got it from Winter, and also because this was a very important, this was a yarn that they really valued. I don't feel I kind of have like paralysis regarding like using it, because I want to make something that is worthy of Winter's sacrifice. And maybe that sounds traumatic, but like that's just how I view it. Because like Winter didn't really want to part with this yarn but needed to, and I wanted to support them. But I just like I want to make something that's like worthy, and that's putting a lot of pressure on just using it in general. So like I'm a little stuck. It's very soft. It's very gorgeous. I think honestly, probably any project would be made better by using this yarn. But I'm just again, I need it to be the project, or like the projects that are worth it. So the last yarn is very, again, very sentimental to me. And if you had the privilege of knowing David Browning, unfortunately he passed. Oh God, it's been a couple years. I don't know. It was very surprising to me. I don't know the situation. I didn't ask because I didn't feel it was appropriate. But I bought some yarn that was kind of outside of the type of yarn I would typically use, and I wanted to buy something that I thought that David would buy, and I wanted to make something that I thought David would make. And so I got some yarn from Michael's. I got 3 skeins of it. Yep. And so this is the Impeccable yarn. It's not the softest, but just, it's not scratchy. It's just not, I don't know how to describe it. So this is the Impeccable yarn. It is 285 yards per skein. Again, I have 3 full skeins. I do have a project that I started with it that I worked on a live when I found out the news, because I just wanted to do something to honor David. And I ended up just not really loving the way it was working up. And then I kind of was like, again, I need it to be something worthy of like David's memory. And like, if you're like, it's stupid to have like these sentimental attachments to yarn, Um, you can have that opinion, but like, I bought this yarn with a purpose. I bought the yarn from Winter with a purpose, and for me, when I do that, I really want to make sure that I'm using it for the purpose that I bought it for. So I'm not going to use this on just any old project. It can't be just like, oh, here's kind of like a gray tone. Let me just use it however. So this is in the color, it's a medium 4-weight. This is the color Putty. Again, this is not a color I normally use. It is a very light gray, but I just thought that David would like it. So I started doing, well, okay, so here's a granny square that I started, but I believe this is actually the second time I tried to use it. The first I was trying to do a stitch that had more texture, and I just felt like with how kind of flat the yarn is, the texture wasn't being highlighted, and I was just kind of like, So I tried to make a granny square out of it, and I was like, one, I don't really like granny squares, and two, I just didn't feel like it just gave the vibe of David. So I stopped, and I didn't even cut it. Like, I was just like, I don't like this. It's easy enough to frog, but like, the more you frog something, obviously, the harder it is to use. So for me, it's not so much that the yarn is hard to use, it's just that I want to use the yarn in the most honoring, respectful, loving way that I can. And because David's style was so different than mine, and his YouTube was Bearded Yarn Dudes, um, and, uh, and, so I just, like, his style was so different than mine, that it's really hard for me to pick something of his style that calls to me. Even though I'm making it to honor him, I want to be able to, I want the project to bring me joy as I make it, as I celebrate David's life. So, so that's a very special yarn to me, just for its purpose, not necessarily for the yarn itself. So really just kind of have a hard time using it. But it's been sitting, uh, you know, for quite a while, and I don't feel like that's fair. But I don't know what to do. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for any of these yarns, or all of the yarns, or some of the yarns, like anything like that, I would really appreciate it. Or if you just say, like, if you just rattle off some projects, or send me or comment like a free pattern, regardless of the yarn that you think might work, anything like that, I will absolutely appreciate. There's a lot of love, a lot of special moments in these yarns, and just things that make me really happy to visually see. But I do struggle sometimes with just picking the project that I want to go with. So any suggestions are welcome. Again, I really don't want to, I just won't make a blanket. And a lot of these yarns I just feel like are too special to just throw into like a baby blanket for a baby to just like poop on. So yeah, so if you have any suggestions, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay happy and healthy. Take care of yourself. Hydrate. And I hope you have a great day. Okay.